Hi, everyone. Welcome to the fourth ever episode of the Exploring Aliveness podcast. I'm here with my friend Pablo, and I'm going to give it to him to start talking about the topic for today.
Cool. What's up, everyone? Can you believe this? 4 episodes in. Well, here we are again, and today's subject is integrity. And just by saying that, I feel quite vulnerable since it's been a subject that I have had my fair share of conflict and inner war with. And I have no clue where we're gonna end up today, as always. So, kick it off, man.
Kick it off with, what makes you want to talk about integrity?
Oof. Oh. Oof. So, a word that I also associate with integrity is honesty. I see them as interchangeable. And for the last week or so, I've been extra honest about my experience and then practicing integrity with myself and basically admitting, okay, I have this impulse right now for this thing. And I'm like, okay. And I let myself have it. And then I'm like, okay. And now I want to accept and be honest that I feel like shit in my stomach right now. Okay, great. So I've been going on from experience to experience, being honest with whatever's happening for me. And many times I don't like what I find. Yet at the same time, I find it liberating since I don't have to hide from myself. I don't have to hide from others. And the truth is the truth, whether I like it or not. So it's a hot subject for me. It's been also uncomfortable because now I'm confronted with, oh shit, I told this person this one thing one day, and now I've done some work and discovered something new about myself. And now I don't want to do the thing that I told them that I want to do. And being honest with myself and practicing integrity would be telling this person, hey, this no longer works for me. Yeah, that's uncomfortable because my some sort of identity is on the line with this new truth and honesty that shows up. So hot subject, and I'm curious what comes up for you with me sharing that.
Yeah, when you share that, there's like a way in which honesty and integrity is being the lake or being the water,
Mm,
being the ocean, where you're like, oh, I have nothing to protect. I can be fully transparent. I can
mm,
just show everything. And there's nothing to protect because I know I am inherently good or I am safe or what I'm going to do is fine. Like there's like not a shame to it. It's like, oh, this is what is true for me. This is my honesty. This is my integrity. And what I'm hearing you say is like when you actually believe that or live by that, there is a relief. There's like a there is a way in which it's relieving in your system
mm,
to live in that way. And because it's not something you've intentionally practiced, but now are, you're seeing that piece more clearly of like, oh,
mm,
every time I am honest, even if it's scary, I feel more aligned, more
mm,
just better. And that's been my experience as well.
mm. Yeah, this question comes up when I hear your share, and it's like, wow, and it's like a self-directed question, and it says something like, wow, how much energy does it take for me to defend myself and defend my identity? And it's like a whole lot if I'm constantly doing that. It's like, oh, I don't want to tell the person at the counter, hey, I ordered the wrong thing. What can we do to change it? Like that would be my truth. But instead, I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that. And I need to like constrain and restrict my emotions and my feelings and not do that and protect some image of the person who doesn't make any mistakes. So that comes to mind. And I would love us to zoom in a little bit more on this defending the identity and what happens to it when one practices integrity.
Yeah. The way that I see integrity and truth is actually like, this is, I'm gonna make a big claim, but like, it feels like that is the entire spiritual path of like, that is just the path of living your truth fully. And self discovery is like the act of finding your truth over and over again. And the Buddhists have a word called like samadhi, which is like a unification of mind. And there is the idea in the like Dzogchen world of like a one taste, of like the oneness of being. And I think all of that just comes with living more and more in alignment, more and more with your truth, and less defended. And what I have seen personally is like when I have to lie or when I have to fabricate something or defend something, what I have to really do is divide myself. Like that's the thing I have to do because my truth is not going to go away. And if I can't express it, then I have to create a separation between me and reality. And then when that happens, there's internal conflict because now there's not just one thing, there's two things. And those two things are conflicting and they're fighting. Like they are contradictory, they're fighting. There's an internal fight that gets created the moment there's something to defend. The moment that I step out of my truth, there's something to defend. And most of suffering, like not like pain, but most suffering, all suffering really, is just that internal fight. For me, was what I've noticed. Like whenever there's not an internal fight, there's not really suffering. It's a lot of bliss, a lot of joy, a lot of pleasure. But once I start defending something, once my truth isn't okay, then I have a separation, a duality that causes this internal friction that causes a lot of suffering in my life. So what I've seen is like when there's something to protect, then what I'm protecting is my truth and myself. And if I'm doing that, then I'm like fighting. I'm fighting the world. Like it's already a fight. Like I'm fighting the world, and fighting the world is also I'm fighting myself to be able to do that, and that causes like a lot of internal friction, like a lack of relief. And so when someone is like telling me about like, oh, I keep a lot of secrets or I lie, I'm like, it feels really stupid, like for my reality, because it's just like, oh, you're just creating a lot of suffering for yourself. And, you know, that's okay if that's what you want. And also, yeah, it's really painful to lie.
Oh, well, there was plenty in that. I'll start with owning that, and I'm picking up this interesting dance between, all right, there's one truth, or there's my truth, and then if I decide to not disclose it or to not share it, in a way I need to cut that part from me and put it aside. Yeah, as you said, it's not going anywhere, it's still there. So now I need to share this other thing that is not actually my truth. And now this conflict starts to occur, right? And now there's like this internal facing reality, and then there's external fake facing reality. And then now I'm curious about it's like, whoa, but there seems to be like, there's a me who is choosing, do I speak my truth or do I not speak my truth? And if I don't speak my truth and I'm identified with this non-truth, like whoa, like what's going on there? How come there's this like sensation of like I can identify with the truth and speak it, or I can identify with the non-truth and speak that? And like I have the sense that one can be with one's truth without identifying with it or blending with it or not, and then that creates like some chaos internally and some friction. So hearing that, I'm curious what your experience is with this possibility of identity and non-identity of truth.
There's an experience of like the truth is the present moment. Like The truth isn't something you can grasp, it's just here. So the moment you're identifying with something, you're holding on to an identity, you're holding on to your truth, like that's not really true. Like it's already changed.
Mm.
Like it's like the moment passed, like the truth has changed. And the truth is here and here and here and here. You can't really, like, there's not really a possibility of ego in like your actual truth, like your essential truth.
Mm.
And speaking from essence, you're like the present moment, speaking what is true right now continuously feels like more a channeling, like more like, oh, like you're attuning to what your entire system feels to be true right now, or I feel to be true right now. And then I speak. And I don't really know what I'm going to say, but I know it's my truth. And then I say the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. But if a part of me thinks I need to speak my truth, and I'm thinking about what my truth is, like I am planning for a future that's not here. That's already like I'm scared. I am preparing. There's already a fight here. Like there's like I don't trust that what I'll say in the moment is good enough. So I need to prepare because the reason it's not good enough is because the world might not accept it. And there's already a fight happening in that. So if I am thinking about what my truth is, I am already denying that my truth is okay.
Mm.
And that how I show up in the moment will be accepted or will not be accepted. And when that fight is already there, then like you kind of like reinforce it because you're overthinking, and then you're gonna say something that you overthought that you say is your truth, and then people are gonna be like, "What the fuck? Why is that so rigid?" And they're gonna actually fight you. So then like it creates this feedback loop where they validate your assumption that your truth is not okay, and then you prepare more to speak your truth in the future instead of just being like, oh, I feel safe and I'll say what I'll say in the moment, and I know I trust myself to speak my truth in the moment, and what my truth will be then is different from what my truth is now because I will be a different, like I'll be in a different now then. That's what comes up when you share that.
I'm immediately taken back to our episode on pleasure when we were speaking about, oh, life can be like this series of pictures, and I hold on to them, and it was like, oh, I don't want my life to change other than this picture that I took. I need to hold on to it. Like this is my identity. Or life can be more like this stream, and it's like, well, all right, we're going left, and I'm going right, and this is what I'm saying right now. Okay, this is what I'm saying, and like I'm so glad I'm seeing that parallel and bringing that notion back to this into this conversation in this moment. And on honesty, I'm realizing, oh, like what you're saying, I'm tracking it in my direct experience right now and what's true for me. And there I can see there's a little bit of like, oh, what question do I ask next? And like, oh, how do I want to steer this conversation? I'm like, oh, yeah, that's the planning. And then that's gonna interrupt what's actually happening. And oh, maybe there's a want that I want to own, but I don't want to own it because maybe I'll be seen as XYZ. So I'd rather like have it come out sideways instead of just owning my truth. And in all that mixture of what I just said, I'm recognizing that for me, there's a big piece in honesty, and it's, oh, I may be afraid of the consequences of speaking my truth, of being in integrity with myself. And maybe Samek is not going to like me, or maybe my boss is going to get angry, or maybe my parents are going to get disappointed. And I want to avoid that experience. So I'd rather like put my truth aside and show up as some sort of self deception.
Yeah. The truth is scary. Like being in integrity is, there's an aspect of it that is really scary. because to be able to do it, you really need to feel through the consequences so that you're not acting out of fear
Over and over again.
over and over again. And
Yeah.
it never ends. Like, it's like the next thing is gonna come. Like, it's like, oh, now I met this girl and I want to, tell her my truth, my feelings. It's like, oh, she's gonna reject me and she's gonna hate me and she's gonna, make fun of me. It's like, cool. What's it like feeling through all of that such that I can love myself, even if she rejects me, even if she makes fun of me, even if she just never talks to me again. And then it just becomes okay. And it's like, oh, and
Mm,
I will speak my truth because there's nothing to protect. But the moment there is, then it becomes like, okay, what do I say? How do I say it best? How can I say it? How will I say it? And then it's like your truth is here, and then you're like putting on layers of like wanting to be perfect on top of it. And every layer is a fight against the world. It's like
mm,
this is how I need to protect myself, and this is how I need to protect myself. And each of that kind of in a way is like a mini power dynamic, like the last episode. And it causes a lot of internal friction because it's like I'm a victim or and I need to be this and I need to do this and I need to be perfect. Like you're trying to save yourself and you're not good enough. There's like a power dynamic even in that because you're acting. There's fear. Um, yeah. So that's what comes up for me.
yeah, yeah. I was smiling and smirking a few times. So, present moment. A couple days ago, I go on LinkedIn randomly to see someone's profile. I click back. I end up in the homepage. I see a friend of mine from another country posting a job opportunity, and I'm like, oh, this seems interesting. And I go into it. I realize I like it. I realize I get all excited, and I ask myself, what's the next step? Like when if I'm honest, what's the next step? And I was like, oh, I'm gonna send him a message and see if we can set up a call. We send him a message. He agrees to a call. We chat on the phone for 90 minutes. It turns into an interview. And I'm like, oh, I'm really liking this. He sees this as a fit. And I'm like, all right, what's my next step? And I'm like, well, I need to think about if moving to this other country under the financial reality of the role and that country, does that work for me? I'm like, all right, cool. So I start feeling into that. And in all that, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I don't really want this job. What I really want is the opportunity to live in this specific country and have access to a specific kind of education that I enjoy. And I'm like, oh, fuck. So now what's true for me is that I don't really want this job. I just want to move there and educate myself. And I told my friend, hey, I'm going to feel through this whole situation throughout the weekend. And then once the weekend's over, I'll see where I'm at and I'll let you know what's true for me. And as of now, what feels really true is like, okay, I don't want this job anymore. I want something different. So now I feel to feel an integrity. I want to tell this person what's actually true for me now. And I've started to notice I'm like, we've already invested certain time talking, and he's already talked to his associates, and like that there seems to be an interest. So now I'm creating this story that I'm starting to invest in this opportunity. How can I now speak my truth? And they're gonna be disappointed, and I don't want them to be disappointed. That's me saving them. I don't want them to feel XYZ, and I don't want to appear as someone who changes his mind. And I'm like, wow, it's happening live right now. I'm starting to see the stories I use and construct in order to avoid my truth because I want to appear as some version of good or some version of perfect because my truth isn't that. And just watching all that play out, I'm like, wow, man, I it, like I carry this what's the word? Like, I want to use inherent, but that's not, doesn't sound that appropriate. I'm just going to use it. I carry like this unconscious drive to, I need to protect my identity at whatever cost. And I need to create these other things that are not me, even when the truth of what I am is what I am. So that story comes to mind. That's alive for me in the last few days on this subject.
There's like a weird thing that comes up for me when you share that, which is like it's like what would like how would things life change if you knew your inherent goodness? Like how would life change if you knew your truth was always innocent and beautiful and true?
Yeah.
And it's like a question I've been asking myself as well. I had a conversation with a friend, I was sharing it with Pablo, and he's a Aletheia coach, and they talk about like attuning to poetically attuning to reality and seeing the truth, beauty, and goodness in everything that you see. And there's a way in which like the more I see my own truth, beauty, and goodness, and the innocence of that, the more it's like just reflected back at me from the world. It's like I'm just like I'm seeing the world as it is, and the world is quite truth. Like the world is quite beautiful and quite good if that's like who I am right now. Um, what am I trying to say? There's like this beautiful quote by Saint Augustine that goes like, people talk about good times and people talk about bad times, but there are no good times or bad times. We are the times, or something along the lines. And it's about like the way that we see our truth, the way that we project onto our truth. If it's like if we imagine our truth is bad and that things need to be protected, or our truth is miserable, our truth is not good enough, and that's what we see in the world. Every person we interact with, like, that's the truth that gets reflected back to us. It's like, oh, this person's not good enough. This person is not beautiful. This person is, um, something that I need to avoid because I avoid my truth. And the more my truth becomes beautiful and good, like inherently innocent, and the more that's what I see in the world. It's like, oh, so there's almost like the truth being the essence of me, and the projection of the essence is what I see in the world.
Yeah, we're getting into projection territory, which is such a juicy subject and for sure a future episode. I don't know when. Ah,
How does
yeah,
that
and
land?
yeah, what's coming up for me now is what really resonated in that is my truth is innocent and it's mine and it's good and it doesn't need to be defended and it's absolutely lovable and beautiful. And when I let those words land, I'm reminded of a recent experience where I'm like, oh, I'm eating these foods that I notice alter my mood. So I'm eating sugary foods and I feel good for a while, and I'm drinking coffee and I'm drinking a ceremonial grade cacao, which is like the highest caffeine content. And I'm like, oh, cool, I'm doing these things and I'm altering my mood. Great. Let me be honest about that. I am becoming conscious that I unconsciously want to change my state. Okay, got it. And then I allow myself to do it. I'm now conscious that I'm doing these things, eating these foods, drinking these things. And now I'm like, oh, what is it that I'm trying to change? What is it that is supposedly not okay in my experience that I need to alter it? And then that inquiry led me to ask myself, well, what happens if I don't have the foods or if I don't drink the things? And I'm like, well, I don't know. Let's see. The truth was, I don't know. And then I stopped doing it for a while, as in, I got the impulse to consume or drink. I follow it and I say, all right, what is it that I don't want to feel? And I'm like, oh my God, there's like this sense of feeling demoralized, like some belief in myself isn't like working anymore, and I'm feeling like this sullenness, which is like this sadness that's just got prolonged and like unregistered, and like there's this like bummed out and like, oh my God, there's a hinge of I'm feeling miserable. And I'm like, wow. And then the first reaction is, I don't want to feel this. I don't like this. This is awful. I don't want to feel like shit. These are all bad feelings. And I'm like, okay, cool. That's also true for me. And I can understand how that frame of mind is leading me to escape that through foods and drinks. Well, what happens if I be with the experience of these different shades of sadness? And I started to sit with, let me just feel miserable. Let me just feel sad. And I started to welcome them. And then I started to cry. I started to shake. And I'm like, oh my God, what? Who said that this was bad? This is actually so sweet. I'm getting to connect with myself in ways that I had been avoiding that. And now I'm noticing that what's true for me is starting to change. And I'm noticing that my impulse for wanting these foods is starting to diminish itself. It's still there, but it's like much lesser in intensity. So I'm sharing all this, and when I take a moment to feel into it, what I realize is like, oh, how much is me avoiding my integrity and my truth actually creating more chaos and more suffering and more of self-deception that keeps me in suffering, and how much when I turn towards honesty and integrity, I actually free myself, even if on the way there it may be uncomfortable because like I don't know what's gonna happen. So what I'll throw back to you is, it seems to be that if I don't practice integrity, I'll end up creating a life that's fake and filled with suffering. And if I live in integrity, I'll end up living a life that I actually pretty enjoy. So what comes up for you on
Yeah. Like, when you say that, it's like it feels true.
that?
And it's scary. Like, what comes up is fear because like
Oh,
my life is my life and my truth is my truth and it can never be someone else's. So I have no like to live in integrity for me has been an experience of not being able to take other people's advice. Like I was like I can take it, but it's like I can't use it unless it's my truth. And there's like this like lack of safety, not lack of safety, but like lack of knowing that becomes more and more apparent the more I live in integrity. Of like, I can't, someone's living this beautiful life, and I'm like, wow, that's beautiful. Parts of me want things that they have, but this is not my life. So I can't like compare my life currently to their life because it's my life is also great, and their life is also so great. They're different lives, they're different truths, they're different things in a way. And it's almost like the more I live in integrity with my truth, the more my life flowers into me in its own beauty and goodness. And when I look outwards at different flowers, they're like, they are different flowers. Like everyone is this like different flower. And the more each person lives in their integrity and they actually do the things they want and build the life they want, it's like their life flowers into this like beautiful goodness and beauty. Like it's just like their truth flowers into their goodness and beauty and their representation of it. It's like everyone is love shining through a different stained glass, showing different reflections of the world through their life. And I can't be a different flower. I can't have different stained glass. I can't have different reflection than my own. And there's like something about that that's really scary. And also something about that where like the uniqueness of everyone, it's like everyone's unique and everyone's not unique because we're all human. Like there's like this like paradox that like gets resolved in that. Um, yeah, that's what comes up.
yeah. So I want to own that I'm really enjoying the poetic energy you're bringing to the table today. And there's a lot of sensory words, so it's really cool to just let my mind imagine what you're saying as you're speaking it. So I'm really liking that. Second, I'm going to clear my throat since I'm noticing that it's bothering me. Cool. And I want to use this as a meta moment to say, like, oh, I was afraid of owning my truth that I need to clear my throat because I don't want to be seen as someone who has an unclear throat. And I'm like, great, cool. Integrity in action right now. So that's really cool. And dude, borrowed truth versus personal truth is what comes to mind in your share. And so often there's all this hearsay that we collect in the environment. Oh, so and so authority says XYZ, it's got to be true. I'm just going to try that on. But I have not personally done the experiments to figure out if that's true for me or not. So I'm walking around with this hearsay that I pretend to be truth, but it's not. And I may or may not be aware that I am deceiving myself and acting out of integrity because I'm walking around preaching, hey, did you know that this or that? When like I really have no foundation for it, right? And I'm noticing I get excited about this, and I'll be the first one to own that. For many years, I would read all these books, and I'm like, yeah, that's the truth. And then I'll just live as if. And then I was like, wait a minute, but like I'm just like parroting someone. I'm just repeating, regurgitating what someone else is saying. And I feel really blessed that in the last few years, I've been involved in circles where the invitation is, hey, don't trust jack shit of what I'm saying. Go find out for yourself what's true. And I'm like, oh my God. And that's when I started to make this distinction that I didn't have before. And it's hearsay and direct experience. And
Mm,
I found it incredibly crucial to make that distinction and to be honest with myself, to be in integrity and say, hey, do I have direct experience of feeling gratitude in my body and noticing how that feels like? Or am I just taking X person's word for it and assuming that I do? And hey,
mm,
it's okay if I'm just borrowing people's ideas, but let me be honest about it.
yeah.
And do I want to create the experiments and the conditions for me to find out what's true or not? So that distinction, hearsay and direct experience, what comes up for you?
That's so well put. Uh, I want to say my truth is I'm very in my heart. My
Ah,
head is very offline today. I think, I think my poetic words could attest to that. And I'm appreciating how you're distinguishing the two. And what
mm,
I've noticed is my personal experience is the hearsay exists in my head. The hearsay, the simulation of the world exists in my head. And it does a great job. It like takes in all the information and it creates a simulation of what the world is. And it's like this beautiful map of the territory of direct experience. And then sometimes I mistake the map for the territory.
mm,
And whenever that happens, it's almost like it feels like I gained a superpower in the moment of like, oh my God, look at all of these things I know and can predict. And then it also is incredibly painful, is what I've noticed. Because now I'm not living my truth. Now I'm like, oh, I'm following this map and it's working. But then there's no mystery, there's no aliveness. There's just like me following what other people said, or even like my own like analysis of what I've experienced to create this map of like what should happen. And then whenever things don't go as they should, whenever this simulated reality, this hearsay, this truth that I'm now living by isn't accurate to direct experience, which is actual the truth for me, there is this like heartbreak. There's this
mm,
pain of like, ah, fuck, ah. There's like, God damn it. There's like, there's like this like massive prediction error of like how reality should be versus how it is. Like disappointment. There's a lot of disappointment. And what I've seen is whenever I've lived, my experience has been like I don't have the clearest distinction between when I am doing it and when I'm not, but I do know that whenever I am living someone else's truth through me, I feel disappointed so much more often.
mm, mm. Oh man. Oof. Yeah, I love that you're putting on the table another way of saying the same distinction of hearsay and direct experience as the map and the territory. And how, yes, the map lives in the cognition and the mental continuum in the mind. And it's this contest prediction like, yep, so and so said so and so. So I'll probably expect this to happen in 3 days or in a year or whatever. And then that time comes and I'm like, oh shit, where is it? Nowhere to be found. Oh, because I'm running on someone else's prediction and someone else's experience, not mine. Fuck. Yes, disappointment happens. Go ahead.
On one piece here, it's like I think there's like a way in which it's both other people's truths and like you can't really predict the future. Like the world is computationally explosive. Like what I'm saying there is like head is like everything is like, humans are dynamic systems and there's
Mm,
a million of them. The world is not predictable. So whenever
mm,
I'm trying to make prediction, I am living in a truth that is from my head, not the present moment. So even in my truth, even in my maps, let's say, there is still the disappointment. So the disappointment is whenever I mistake the map for the territory, basically.
mm.
It doesn't matter whether it's mine or not. Yeah, I just wanted to add that correction.
Yeah. And so here's something. I don't know where this is gonna go. I'm just gonna throw it in. It feels exciting for me. So recently, I hadn't taken pictures in a while, and I go out. I was in some town having dinner. I whip out my camera, and I'm like, cool. And I'm like, wow, I feel like I've lost it a bit. Like, how do I take pictures now? And then I'm like, well, I have an idea. I have an assumption, and it's that I'll ask myself, I'll just walk around holding the question, what would be enjoyable to photograph? I don't know if it's going to work. And I just walked around, right? And I'm holding the question. And some time goes by and I'm like, oh, nothing's happening. And then I'm like, oh, and I just know, I just feel, right? And then I'm like, cool. And so I frame, I take the picture and I'm like, yeah, I like that. And then I keep holding the question and then more opportunities show up. And I'm like, oh my God, I now have the direct lived experience. It is now true for me that if I hold this question, I will find opportunities to take pictures. Now, I don't know if that will always be the case, but now I have a direct lived experience that I can speak for from inner authority because it's mine and it's directly lived. And cool. I didn't know how this was going to go, and now something else is coming through. So I want to introduce the concept of experiments and why experiments are so important in order to derive our own truth, in order to live in our own integrity, and what would happen if we don't do that?
I love that so much. I feel like there's like a way in which I'm like, oh yeah, the truth is just here right now, present moment. Then there's like, then what do I do about the future? Like, what the fuck? Like, do I not like plan out my goals and like get to the goal and like make the direct plan to the goal? You know, I got to make the smart goal and like, you know, do this, 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 and this. And there's the way in which like, yes, like that is a model that
Mm,
works, but that's a model that like by the time you get to the goal, like if you just like follow the narrow steps, like you will get the goal. You might get the goal, but it might not be what you want anymore.
mm,
And you'll just be like, ah, I got the goal, and then now what's the next goal? But there's a way in which like it's like this is a goal. Like I want to make $1 million or something. But, and then it's like, okay, what are like 100 experiments I can do to try to get there? And then every experiment you're learning your own truth, and then you're iterating.
mm,
And there's a way in which like that's like directly pointing you to your direct experience over and over and over again. And through the act of experimentation, whether small or big, like you don't have the roadmap. The roadmap is like you're walking the territory and you're just exploring and you're exploring the aliveness of what happens when you try specific things and you're finding your truth. And whether that be in career or relationships or whatever, like that, there's a way in which like that feels a lot better in my system where I'm not like, there's not really a disappointment to failing an experiment. They're just like data. It's like, oh, I
mm,
tried this experiment. Oh, it didn't work because of this, this, and this. Cool. My truth is now like, my truth evolved. It's like I have direct experience of trying this thing and it not working, and it was an experiment. And like now that informs my next, like the next thing that's alive for me that arises through that I want to try. And it's like as the iteration iterates, like your truth will just evolve and your like even if like whatever the goal is informing the questions and the experiments, like it'll almost be like the goal is just your lived reality. The goal is now your lived truth. Like
mm.
It's like, I want, what is it? Goal, I want a girlfriend. So you just experiment, experiment, experiment. You learn more and more about yourself. And by the time you look like you're married with kids or something, and that's just your lived reality, you know, it's not like a goal, it's just your truth. And there's a way in which following a map doesn't allow for that as much as it's like knowing what you want and then continuously experimenting and finding your truth in each experiment and iterating over time. Yeah. And there's also not the suffering of like, it's like my truth is not okay right now. It's like, I don't know my truth. Like, I wonder what happens if I try this. And then what
Mm.
happens if I try this? And so on and so on. Like, there is just an exploration
Yeah.
instead of a like continuously following a map and then continuously being disappointed and then, you know, white knuckling to get to the next checkpoint and the next checkpoint and so on.
Woo! Yeah, this feels extra alive for me. And so I have an operating principle in life. And every time I have an opportunity to speak about it, I chuckle because I just find the name so hilarious, and it's fuck around and find out. And the more you fuck around, the more you find out. And many times I have one idea, right? But I don't really know. Like, I have some abstraction, and I don't have the direct lived experience yet. So I would say like, well, fuck around and find out, right? And do the thing, do the experiment, do whatever the step is to like find out what my truth is in that specific route. And anchoring this to something that's pretty hard for me the last few days, pretty vulnerable to admit, even right now online, and is, oh my God, I want to go back to school. And cool. And then once I feel into that want, my mind produces this strategy. And it's like, okay, I need to go to this school and I need to get a master's degree and I need to do, and I'm like, maybe. Cool. Let's explore possibilities. So I go online, I find different programs, and I'm like, I don't know, something. Like I ran the tiny experiment of like going to their website to see what the offers are. Something didn't jive for me. I'm like, all right, cool. Then that's data, right? Now, bringing this back to how we started the episode, and it's being brutally honest. As I'm gathering that data, and I'm like, oh shit. Maybe it's not that I want to specifically get a master's degree somewhere. Maybe it's that I simply want to dive deep into some subject and like really learn about it and like permeate my experience with these specific ideas that for whatever reason I find interesting. And then I would need to let go of the strategy that I may or may not have developed an already attachment to of like, yeah, I'm gonna go to school and I'm gonna live here and blah 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 blah. Blah. Wait a minute, but my truth is pointing me at like that strategy doesn't work for me anymore. Oh fuck, but I invested all this like attachment to this idea that is not really grounded in my truth until now. And it's like, well, I'm gonna be honest with myself and grieve, get sad, or whatever I need to do to let go of this strategy because I prematurely hooked myself to a strategy that isn't actually serving my grounded data. So all this to say, I'm at a point in my life where I'm transitioning out of the linear mindset, which is set goal, move through goal, regardless of the data that shows up, and I'm moving more towards I have a want, goals still show up, and I'm like, cool. I'm doing my best to not attach to them and just run tiny experiments and see where they lead me. So all this to say that I want to emphasize that there's a high chance that I'll get enamored to some strategy. And if I'm not honest with myself, I'll end up chasing something that is not really going to work for me. Ooh.
Fuck.
Fuck.
You just hit me with like 5 different strategies that I'm currently like signed up for that I don't that are currently not my truth. And I'm like, no, I don't want to grieve those. God damn it, Pablo. What are you doing? Why are you
That's the thing with
That was
integrity,
well
man.
worded. That was too good. You fucked me.
Yeah, integrity can be a pain in the ass because, like, right now there's all this investment in whatever those strategies
Bro, I
are. But,
spent
like,
money
wait a
on
minute.
these courses. What do I do? Fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's like I have a goal and then I come up with a strategy and then I get invested in the strategy and now I follow the strategy thinking it's my truth. But my truth is right here. And my truth knows that this is not it. But I'm just like, no, but like I need to make it work because I've invested so much in it. And I'm like, so am I gonna invest more? Like is that like the only thing I can do is invest more? More time, more effort, more money into a strategy that is not my truth. And that's just gonna build a life that's not mine.
Ah,
Fuck, dude.
ah. Fuck is the
You
right
got me.
reaction.
This episode is cooking me.
The wonders of not having a script and not knowing where the fuck this is gonna go.
Oh.
Good shit.
Yeah, so I signed up for a couple courses that cost a lot of money, and I'm realizing I don't like I knew they were not my truth, but I'm like, this is the idea. This is like this is the goal and this is what I'm gonna do to get there. And it
Yeah.
wasn't a tiny experiment, it was a roadmap. And roadmaps aren't living my truth.
Oof. Yeah. Oof. Just allowing myself to take a moment and just I'm shining a light of compassion on like so many years of my life where I confuse the feeling of wanting with the strategy, and I think they're the same thing. And in that confusion, right, I'm fusing two things together that really don't need to be fused together. I end up on these scavenger hunts that cost money, time, etc., etc., etc. And then something whacks me in the face, and I'm like, fuck, man, this is not what I want to be doing with my life. But I got this sunk cost bias running in my head, and like, I'm supposedly not allowed to let go of this because I've invested years, money, relationships, whatever, whatever, whatever.
God damn it.
Ah,
It's hard to live in integrity. But is it really? I think it's easier to live in integrity, but it's actually just it's scary to let go.
yeah, man. What I think putting on the frame of hard, in my experience, what's hard is to like let my ego die over and over and over again when I've identified with something. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
I made dinner plan. I made a plan with someone to meet with them once a month for 6 months, and then after month one, I'm like, ah, this is not working for me, dude. But now I need to like, right? If I'm gonna be honest and own my integrity, then like some part of my ego
Oh,
needs to like face the grinder, and that shit sucks.
yeah. That shit sucks. Also, like I'm like having words to put into the experience of this, it makes it easier because then like the way that I commit, now I have words to be like, oh, my life is a bunch of tiny experiments.
Mm,
I can say that, and now I have words to why. Why is that important for me? It's because I want to live in integrity, and I can't live in integrity if I am following a roadmap.
mm.
And I didn't have that prior to us talking about this, and I'm like, oh, this makes it easier in a way, because then it becomes like I don't have to get my ego involved in the first place. But if I do end up getting my ego involved, then I get to face the grindstone. So like it's a win-win both ways, you know?
A smaller grindstone, a tiny grindstone.
Tiny grindstone.
Yeah, man, I'm really glad we landed at this point in this pathless path right now, and it's like, yeah, I'm wondering what's gonna be the next experiment for me if I'm realizing that maybe the enamored idea of going back to school isn't what I'm strategizing it as. Like, I don't know, maybe the next tiny experiment is like, I'm gonna read this one chapter of this one book that I've been really wanting to read and see what happens, right? And it's like such a safe experiment. Like how long and how much is it gonna cost me to read one chapter of one book? It's like so small, right? And that's gonna give me enough data to be like, oh, cool. Maybe I want to keep reading this book and see what happens. And I don't know. And I'm just going to fantasize for a moment. Oh, holy shit. Maybe I want to read this whole bunch of books together. Oh, wow. And then I don't know, a few months down the road, I'm like, holy shit, I'm into this random esoteric subject that I didn't really know existed. Wow. Like, right. And then I don't know where this is going to go. All because I'm following this want of deeper knowledge, deeper education, deeper experience, something like, right? And I'm letting go of like, oh, the only way I can do that is through a formal, structured graduate path. Wow.
That also helps me. I like pointed at all my wants. And there's a way in which like it's like, oh, I want to make a animation YouTube channel. I love drawing and I love storytelling. It'd be really cool. And then my head's like, okay, you gotta make videos like this and you gotta plan this and do this. And I'm like, huh. And then I just don't do it. And I'm like, oh, what if it was just a tiny experiment? What if there was
Mm,
no ego involved? What if it was a want I get to explore to see whether my truth is there? It's like I'm alive and I'm like, in a way I'm like finding my truth over and over again.
mm,
And this is like one way to do it, and another one, and another one.
mm,
And same with like, it's like, oh, I want to make this app and like code because I'm a programmer. It's like, and then I have to do this and this and this and this and this. I'm like, fuck, I'm not gonna do that. Like, what if I just made a really simple one, like a tiny experiment to see like whether this is something I actually want to do, and
mm,
know that I don't know. Like, know that I don't know if this is actually my truth. All I know is that I want it, and that framing is like helping me right now. Of like, oh, yeah, there's so many things I get to explore to find my truth.
mm,
Because I don't know my truth. Because life is really big. And I don't know what I want to do with it. I do know I
mm,
want to podcast because I've tried it. I experimented. And I found it enjoyable. And I want it to be a part of my life. I do know I want to write poetry because I've done it before and I really enjoy it. That's a way in which my heart speaks. And there's like pieces. There's like a lot of pieces like that where I have done it and I know. I do know I don't want to be at a corporate job because I've tried it and it was miserable. And it's like, oh, now I get to keep finding pieces of my truth.
mm,
And it doesn't have to be a big deal.
mm, mm. Amen, man. Amen. And this whole like predicting into the future, thinking that that's what I'm gonna want a year, 2 years from now, it's like, in my experience, it's like, dude, I'm usually disappointed because by the time I make it there, I want something else, right?
This is so good. This is like my experience exactly.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, shit. And I want to give credit where credit is due, and this is where I discovered the concept of tiny experiments from Anne Lorraine Lecomte. I hope I'm not butchering her name too much. And total game changer. Total game changer in slowly moving away from a prediction based navigating system to an iterative and in the moment truth navigating system. And shit, I wish there was more of it spread around.
Yeah, this is such a good. I have not finished. I know you saw that book on my table, and like you bought it. I never finished it. I like got like halfway through it. I'm just like, doesn't feel important. But now I'm like, oh no, it does feel important.
Dude, I'm so glad you said that. So, for the listeners, I'm going to take us back to February of last year, and I'm visiting Samek at his house, and he has the book on his living room table, and I'm like, "What the fuck is this? I've heard of this before," and I'm looking through it, and I didn't know that I had planted a seed in my consciousness about this. Fast forward like 10 months later, I'm reading the book, I'm listening to Anne Lecomte speak on YouTube and online, and I'm like, "Oh my God, this piece of information is like." it's like, oh, I've been wanting to live a life that looks and feels like this, but I didn't have the language, the fucking words to describe to myself how to live that way. And once the language starts appearing, I'm like, oh, cool. I have new words to orient my life. And it's just so fascinating how language in a really strange way, it's like limits and defines like what experiences I can have. And like thanks to having new words and new ideas, then like more of potential opportunities and experiences can be materialized.
You have more fine grain, find more granularity into your own truth, to see your own truth.
I'm feeling good.
I'm also feeling good. I was gonna say when you, I was like, go ahead,
Yeah,
keep complete.
yeah, cool. Whoa, well, I gotta say that I really, really deeply enjoyed this. I was feeling vulnerable coming into it since integrity can be like, right, self-deception and lying and not being honest, and then integrity and truth and being honest, and it's like it's controversial for me subject. So I'm glad we navigated this and talked about
When you say that, I'm like, that's every episode, no?
it. True.
Like last week, I was like sweating my armpits off, dude. I was so scared.
Uh, Good shit.
Oh my god. Thank you everyone for watching the fourth
Yes.
ever episode of the Exploring Aliveness podcast. It's
Hmm.
great having you. And Pablo,
Yeah. Oh, what do I want to say? Yeah. Find your truth. It leads the way, and it can be uncomfortable and scary. Yet it will guide you all the way home. So enjoy the ride. Bye, everyone.
bye.